Good evening, folks, and welcome to the new Rocksville 2026 Democrat primary debate. I'm your host, Elmo Monster Jr., and before we meet our contestants, let's go over the rules really quickly for the debate. Since there are so many debaters, each debater will have 2 minutes for a response. Then, at the end of all the responses, I, the moderator, will host a collective rebuttal, which will allow anyone who wants to rebuttal 1 minute to do so. This is an effective method that will allow us to get to the questions faster and allow you to make a more informed decision when voting for your Democratic candidate. Now, let's meet the candidates for New Rocksville's 2026 Democrat Party. To start, we have former mayor of Leisure Pole, Justin Chadsworth, and the following congressmen and women: Thelonious Lorax, Sneech Brent, Thelonious Grinch, and Yertle Turtle. Today's debate will be divided into 3 different categories: Mayor Salvatorel's policies, current affairs, and general debate questions. Mr. Chadsworth, we start with you with Mayor Salvatorel's policies. Mayor Salvatorel made a campaign promise in 2024 alongside former Mayor Cindy Moustris to build a statue in the Leisure Pole District in honor of former military lieutenant Marley Donna Fitzgerald Velasson. To this day, neither administration has gotten to that. Why do you think that is?
Well, thanks for having me tonight, Elmo.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Chadsworth.
So here's the deal, right? Salvatorel, he has no respect for our veterans. Absolutely, just none at all. None at all. If I was mayor, that statue would have been up already. And frankly, the excuse that Salvatorel has been feeding to the media that he doesn't have enough time to do it is completely just ridiculous.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chadsworth. Mr. Lorax, we now move on to you. You have 2 minutes. Begin.
In all honesty, I actually have to disagree with Mr. Chadsworth in the sense that the time it would take to mine the minerals for the statue and to, hurt all those, species in the environment, that's not... I actually have to agree with Mayor Salvatorel for not building the statue because it would just be so detrimental to the environment, and I can see why he didn't do it. Even if it's not for that reason, still, it's better to not have a statue that destroyed the environment than to have a statue that destroyed the environment, And, the whole thing on Fitzgerald Velasson, he betrayed our country. He betrayed Thomas Warner in that military, in that fighting, and that's ultimately what led to his death, was betraying the U.S. Embassy,
All right, thank you, Mr. Lorax. Miss Brent, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
First of all, Elmo, thank you for having me on tonight.
Thank you for being here, Miss Brent.
Like Mr. Lorax here, I actually have to agree with Justin Chadsworth in the sense that if it was up to me, that statue would have been put up already. And I didn't even care for Fitzgerald Velasson. It's just the principle of the fact that, Salvatorel and Cindy Moustris, they promised that statue would be up 2 years ago, and they still haven't done it. And it really just shows how much that they care, how little they care about the U.S. military, and that's very sad on their part.
Okay, thank you, Miss Brent. Mr. Grinch, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
I would have built the statue. I would have had it done already.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, thanks for your response. Mr. Turtle, we now move to you. You have 2 minutes. Begin.
Well,
if it was up to me, it would not have been a statue of Molly Donna Fitzgerald Velassin, but it would have been a statue of me, for I am the most deserving of a statue, you see. And the people would love a Yertle Turtle statue, especially considering all that I have done for this country and for this town.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Turtle. Are there any rebuttals? Okay, we now move on to the second question in the Mayor Salvatorel's policies category. If elected to office, would you try to re-separate New Rocksville and Leisure Pole? If so, how? Mr. Chadsworth, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
Thank you, Elmo. And yes, of course, I would absolutely, I would absolutely try to re-separate New Rocksville from Leisure Pole. That's hot. I would absolutely try to do that because Salvatorel basically went in on that December day and took something that's not his, and that is not hot. That is not hot, Elmo Monster Jr. That is the opposite of hot. That is actually quite cold of him to do, you see.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chadsworth. Mr. Lorax, we now move on to you. You have 2 minutes. Begin.
I don't really see any problems with New Rocksville and Leisure Pole being together as one town. Granted, that was due to, corporate greed, which Salvatorel is actually quite known for with his 2 businesses. And as much as I would have not done that, I don't see how re-separating them would help in making New Rocksville a better town to live in.
Thank you, Mr. Lorax. Miss Brent, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
I would have to agree with Mr. Lorax, and it's really separating the towns isn't going to do anything to help New Rocksville thrive, and there will be no positive or negative really effects of doing that. It's just gonna create more issues for taxes if you really think about it.
Thank you, Miss Brent. Mr. Grinch, any word from you?
I wouldn't have done it in the first place.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Yertle, anything you'd like to add?
Well, I would have just never have done it in the first place. It seems so pointless.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turtle. Are there any rebuttals to this? Okay, we now move on to the current affairs section of the debate. Mr. Chadsworth, we'll start with you. If you were mayor of New Rocksville today, how would you handle the Lemur versus New Rocksville lawsuit currently taking place? You have 2 minutes. Begin.
I am currently struggling so hard in that lawsuit. That lawsuit is not hot. It is not hot. I am fighting tooth to nail every day to try to help the American people realize just how corrupt Salvatorel is and how not corrupt and how hot Diane Lemur truly is. I mean, you take a look at her and her son, and they just want to do what's best for them, and that's hot. That's hot. That's honestly, that's hot for them. That's hot. That's totally hot. And it's just not fair what Salvatorel is doing to Diane Lemur, especially considering that Salvatorel and Diane's son, they're friends. So that's not hot. That is not hot.
And I am just, it's so hard. The struggle is real. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chadsworth. Mr. Lorax, how would you handle the lawsuit?
I would just, I would just say that Salvatorel is overstepping his mayoral authority, and I would just put him in jail for abuse of power, which you can do that, by the way, and I don't remember what the sentence is, but hopefully if I'm elected mayor, we can throw Sal in prison for all the atrocious crimes he's committed while in office.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lorax. Miss Brent, how would you handle the lawsuit?
Well, I think that Cindy Moostress and Salvatorel are both in the wrong. And Cindy Moostress wants to go on the internet and complain about how her and her son feel threatened by the post on Instagram. And I can't help but think to myself, well, this is how Diane and her son feel. They feel threatened. And it's not fair that Cindy Moostress and Salvatorel, when they are in office, they get to overstep their power and they get to label whoever they want as the problem. If I was mayor of New Rocksville, both of them and her son, all three of them would be thrown behind bars for overstep of power and overstep of authority. And so I would have to agree with Mr. Lorax on this one.
All right. Thank you, Miss Brent. Mr. Grinch, anything to add?
I would just throw him in jail. I'd have to agree with what everyone said. Overstep of authority.
Thank you, Mr. Grinch. And finally, Mr. Turtle, we move to you.
Well, first of all, let me offer my personal condolences to the Lemur family for all of their troubles that they're going through right now. And let me continue to add that Mayors Cindy Moostress and Salvatorel are not making the situation any better. If I was mayor, in accordance with what everyone else had said, I would have thrown Salvatorel in jail by now. As for Cindy Moostress and her son, I would just let them go. But I would imprison Cindy Moostress for other things.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Turtle. Are there any rebuttals to this? Okay, we now move on to the second question in the current affairs section. Do you agree with Cindy Moostress and Salvatorel's business affairs with President Donald Trump? Mr. Chadsworth, we start with you. You have 2 minutes. Begin.
No, I do not agree with their politics at all. President Donald Trump is not hot. He is not hot at all. If it was up to me, Kamala Harris would be in that office right now. Now, she is hot. Donald Trump from You're Fired is not hot. And Salvatorel and Cindy Moostress and Uncle Jerry are not hot. And I disagree with everything that they've done. Almost everything.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chadsworth. Mr. Lorax, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
I would have to agree with Mr. Chadsworth in the sense that President Donald Trump is possibly one of the worst human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. And also in agreement with Mr. Chadsworth, if it was up to me, he would have never been president in the first place. We would have had someone in office like Hillary Clinton who was more environmentally concerned and someone who just cares about the environment. Like, it's a big deal to them. And clearly, Republicans like Salvatore and Donald Trump and Cindy Boustris and, of course, Uncle Jerry, they don't care. It's not a priority to them, and that is just a shame.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lorax. Miss Brent, what have you to add?
Well, I mean, I pretty much have the same stance as everyone else here. If it was up to me, President Trump and Salvatore would have never, ever been elected. I honestly, if I had the chance, I would find a way to throw them both in prison for all the atrocious crimes that they've committed. And it's just horrible.
All right, thank you, Miss Brent. Mr. Grinch?
I disagree with Trump's policies. And if it was up to me, Kamala Harris would be in that office today, along with Tim Walz. Additionally, if it was also up to me, old Mayor Jenkins and Paul Centerbeard would be in that office right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Grinch. And finally, Mr. Turtle?
Well, I have developed a new term for Democrats who wish to say that they have voted against Trump all 3 times. These people, in my knowledge, will now be referred to as anti-triple Trumpers, which is what I am. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, Joe Biden in 2020, and Kamala Harris in 2024. And the 2 times that Donald Trump won were probably the worst days of my life. And I do have to say that I disagree with everything that man spews out of his garbage mouth.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turtle. Are there any rebuttals to this? Okay, we now move on to the final section of the debate, the general questions. Mr. Chadsworth, we start with you. Why do you think that you are the best candidate for mayor of New Rocksville? You have 2 minutes. Begin.
Well, there's a very simple answer to that, Elmo. You see, that is because I am very, very, very hot. Salvatore is not hot. He is the opposite of hot. He is cold, very cold. New Rocksville needs someone who is hot, who is incredibly hot, to come in and reverse all of Salvatore's policies. And I can do that. I can do that as mayor because I am hot.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chadsworth. Mr. Lorax, we go to you. You have 2 minutes. Begin.
I mean, I believe I am the best candidate for mayor of New Rocksville because I am the only one on this stage who can say that they care about the environment. If I had a thought that the Green Party would win the election in this town, which it never does and never did, but if the Green Party won, I would run for the Green Party. But I guess the Democrat Party will have to do. Because Republicans, they don't care about the environment. They don't care about what they need to care about, which is how to save and protect our planet. I care about stuff. New Rocksville, when it comes to all things environmental, I am your voice.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lorax. Ms. Brent, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
I mean, first I'd like to say that I agree with Mr. Lorax's previous statement in the sense that New Rocksville does not have an environmental representative, and it really should have one. On the other hand, though, I'd also like to contend to his statement by saying that Salvatorel is a teenager who is running an entire town right now, and he has a reputation that supersedes him for making terrible choices that will only hurt the town later. If it was up to me, he would never be in office, and half of the things that he's doing now would not be happening.
All right, thank you, Miss Brent. Mr. Grinch?
I mean, take me or leave me, to be honest.
All right, thank you, Mr. Grinch. You've got nothing to add.
No. Pretty much what everyone else said.
All right. And Mr. Turtle, we now go to you. You have 2 minutes. Begin.
Well, Mr. Monster, the reason that you should vote me for the Democrat candidate and for mayor is because we have seen the results of Salvatorel's terrible mayoralty, if you even want to call it his. We have seen the failures, and we have seen that Mr. L is not, in fact, anyone special. He is simply just another new Rocksville millionaire who only cares about his elitist friends and wants to screw over everyone else. I believe the whole thing with IXL learning, getting shot in the neck, and being hospitalized for breathing in IXL gas, I believe it was all a stunt, an act. I know how terrible Mr. L has been serving as mayor, and I believe we need a turtle who cares about this town to step in his place.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turtle. And that's all the questions for this debate. Thanks for tuning in, folks. The link to vote will be in the description of this video. It will also be in the description of the Republican primary debate, which you can go view on the New Rocksville official mayor's office channel. I'm Elmo Monster Jr., and this has been New Rocksville's 2026 Democrat primary debate. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to vote. Have a good night.